Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of For You from Eve. We are back with another EVEMAS episode. EVEMAS is where I'm posting every single day from December 1st until the 25th, and I've been incorporating a lot of guest episodes because I think it's like spicing it up and keeping it fun, and I'm so excited for today's guest episode. We are in Spotify Studios right now. If you guys have been watching my vlogs or keeping up with me on social media, you probably saw all the content, but I'm here with Tori, and I am so excited to speak to her. We're going to talk all things lifestyle, fitness, podcasting, just kind of being a boss girl, and I'm excited to talk about it. So, Tori, do you want to do a little introduction, who you are, where you're from, and everything we're going to be talking about today?
Yes, hi. First of all, that was gorgeous. And I love EVEMAS. I've been listening every day.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God, dude, it's been a ride.
Yeah, I actually wanted to chat with you offline about that, how you're managing all that. It's so crazy. But anyway, I'm so happy to be here. I'm Tori. I'm 26. I'm from the suburbs of Philly originally. That's where I am now as well. And yeah, I own fitness studios. I've been in the social media world since I was 14. And it's so crazy. Now I'm 26, so It's been a little over a decade. And it's just been really cool just being an entrepreneur and kind of growing up online and seeing where influencing, content creating can take you, all the avenues that it can go down, and owning brick and mortar studios. So it's just been awesome.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were in social media since you were 14. So tell us a little bit about how you started, why you started, because starting at that age you were in high school.
Yes,
that's scary. Okay, so talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I started my channel in 2012, which I guess that math doesn't really math. Oh yeah, it does. 2024. Yeah, 12 years.
I'm the age of the year. So if I was 12, you were
2000.
Yeah, I'm a 2000.
That must be so nice.
It is.
Being a 90s baby.
No.
Got it.
I love the year 2000.
Okay, got it. No, that does really help.
Yeah.
So I started in 2012. I was obsessed with makeup and beauty and all things like that. And one day I was just on YouTube for literally no reason. I have no idea why. I never went on YouTube ever. And I went on one day and I saw a makeup tutorial and I was like, this is actually the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I just became so obsessed and addicted to watching makeup tutorials and beauty videos and makeup collections and room tours, just all old school beauty guru makeup videos on YouTube. And I was like, I can do this. I just want to do it for fun. So I did. I started doing it for fun when I was 14. And I just had the time of my life doing it.
You were in high school doing it.
Yeah, which was so embarrassing.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think every person I've interviewed, myself included, or anyone in YouTube now or social media now, will always say, I wish I started in high school and I didn't.
Really?
Because I was too scared. I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, because high school is more of a closed off community. College is more people don't care about what you're doing in college, or post grad, no one cares. Right. But in high school, everyone cares.
Oh, everyone cared. It was super embarrassing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did you do that? How did you because some people message me saying they care about what people think and that's why they don't want to start. So how'd you get over that?
No, I cared. I can't even sit here and be I didn't care, because I did.
Yeah.
I remember there was a boy in my grade who posted lacrosse videos, and he was popular. Okay. And he could do it, and no one cared because he was cool and he was popular. I wasn't, right? So when I started posting makeup videos, I was like, okay, he can get away with it, but I'm kind of embarrassed of it. So I didn't tell anyone except for a few of my friends. Mm-hmm. And then once I started to kind of get a little bit of a following online, I was like, you know what? I will talk my shit. I will tell people that I do this. So then I started just saying it more to people in high school, and they were cool about it. They were chill about it. No one was, I wasn't bullied for it, but it was definitely embarrassing. And there would be times where boys especially would pull up my videos and
God, that was,
pass it around. Yeah, and it was also just it's not for the boys. I don't know why they're watching it. And the girls, they didn't really care that much. But I think once I got past the awkward stage of it, and I started traveling a lot for it, I started gaining following from it, I started making money off of it, I think that's when people were like, oh, it's actually kind of cool what she's doing. So just with anything, you just have to get past that cringe stage, and I feel that still is a thing. Even now, I see people that are my age and older wanting to become content creators, influencers, and I have these same conversations of you just have to get over that cringe moment, because then once you surpass 10K, 15K, whatever it is, then people kind of do start to take you more seriously.
I agree.
But it's just getting there.
I agree. I do think everyone kind of questions you or makes fun of you until like you make something of it, and they're like, oh wait, maybe I should have been doing this instead of making fun of her the whole time. That's awesome that you were able to do that at age 14, because now that I'm 24, I look back and I'm like, I wish I did it, but when I'm 14, I'm not thinking that at all. Like, I think I did post a few videos on YouTube when I was that age, like especially with my friends too. Like, me and my friend wanted a YouTube channel. We tried to do it together for a little bit. I tried to do like my own thing on YouTube for a while. It was like always a joke, like Liv, was too scared to do YouTube. Like, my friends always knew I wanted to do YouTube, and I was always just way too scared when I was in high school, and now it's so normalized, so I'm like okay with it, but I just like hate that like I needed that validation.
But I get that. Like, it's a common fear. It's very normal to think that way. And especially, like, when you're young and in high school and a teenager, like, you just want to be accepted. So kind of being the odd one out is awkward.
It's such a weird time, too. Like, anyone listening to this that's in high school, because I sometimes do have high school listeners, I'm promising you one thing, it's never that serious. Like, once you're in college or once you're post-grad, like, nothing is that serious. No one cares about what you're doing, like, at all. Like, I don't know half the people I went to high school with. More than that.
But I do, like, I remember the mindset of, like, this is my whole world. And, like, I have little cousins, and one of them is 16, and she's going through, like, all this boy drama right now, and she's telling me all about it. And I just want to be like, you won't even remember his name in 5 years. Like, it's going to be okay. But I remember, like, just in the moment, it's your whole world. So I get it. But, yeah, I would agree, say the same thing of, like, you won't even remember this.
Yeah, so did you go to college after high school?
So kind of, like, I wasn't going to go to college. To make a very long story short, I moved out to LA my junior year of high school because YouTube was really taking off.
Wow, okay.
Moved out, I was like, oh, this is so not
By
for
yourself?
me. Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, this is so not for me. Moved home, went back to public school to finish out high school. And then when I went back to finish my senior year, I was like, I guess I'll go to college. I wasn't planning on it, but, like, I guess I will. So I went for a month. Wasn't for me, didn't like it, moved home, bought a place of my own, moved out, and then I was like, I'll just do full-time content creation, which I did for about 9 months until I started to focus on opening my spin and fitness studios, which is what I do now.
Wow, so you've lived like 800 lives.
Honestly,
You're 26, and you've lived this many lives. That is insane to me. Moving to LA as a junior in high school.
No, like, actually unbelievable.
Going
Like, crazy
into the
behavior.
city as a junior in high school by myself was like forbidden. Like, I cannot believe you did that. And I agree, LA is not for me either. Sorry for anyone listening that's a Cali person. It's not for me at all.
I think East Coast girls are built different. Don't you agree?
I agree. I do.
Yeah.
Like, I've been a Jersey girl my whole life, and I love New York, and I love going down the shore, and I love Massachusetts and Boston. Like, I love those areas, and I've been to LA once, and I went to San Diego once. I love San Diego for, like, the food and, like, the weather. Don't get me wrong, Cali, you have us beat on weather, but the actual lifestyle was not for me. The people, the lifestyle was no.
Just a big shock. Like, it's much slower pace, which isn't a bad thing. But I'm also just like, okay, like,
Yeah, and that's New York.
Yeah.
I agree. So you're in Philly now. You come to New York pretty often. Most of your work is in New York. You own fitness studios, which is like, what is going on with that? So when did you begin fitness, and how did you go from, oh, I like working out, to, oh, I'm going to have my own fitness studio?
Yeah, so when I was in LA, I, like, had freedom of my life, and it was the first time that I was, like, not, living with my parents. So you know how people, like, go to college and get the freshman 15?
Yeah.
I got, like, the LA 15.
Okay.
So I moved home after LA, and I was like, I kind of need to, like, tone up a little bit. So I found spin. Loved it. Little backstory is my whole family, they're all entrepreneurs. My dad has his own business, and my family we're all entrepreneurs.
Nice.
So I loved spin. And I just got really, really into it. When I got home from college and decided to stay home, I started teaching spin. Pretty quickly, I developed, like, a good following at the studio that I was teaching at. And I knew eventually that I wanted to own my own studio just because, number one, kind of born and bred to be an entrepreneur. Right. But also, I just knew that, like, I'm reaching a good amount of people, but if I had my own, I could, build my own brand around what I really wanted to do, and I could put out my own messaging. And, I also just love the feeling of what I get from a spin class, and I want people to feel that, and I want it to be under my own brand. So about 9 months after I started teaching spin, I stopped, went out on my own, opened up my own studio with one of my coworkers at the time. Her name's Jess, and now we're partners at my one location in the suburbs of Philly in a town called Phoenixville. So that opened up in 2018. That was doing really, really well. This is all pre-pandemic. And then I wanted to expand Stride. This is pre-pandemic. Yeah. So I wanted to expand Stride down to the Jersey Shore because that's where I go in the summertime. You probably go to northern Jersey beaches, right? I'm like South Jersey.
Where do you go?
Like Sea Isle.
Okay, I've been to Sea Isle City.
Yeah. I love that you say Sea Isle City.
Yeah, it's on my maps. I've been there, but like I'm more of like the Long Beach Island or Belmar. Like that's like our down the shore.
I've never been to Belmar, but I've always wanted to
Very
go.
cute.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to we go out there in the summer, like the bars, like Seaside Heights and like all that.
Yes.
Which like I'm not really that into, but that's what we'll do.
Yes, of course. So I wanted to, one, spend my summers at the shore.
Right.
Two, everyone from, and I'm sure you know this too, like from this area just goes to the shore on the weekends or all summer or whatever.
Yes,
so I was like, I may as well just go where the people are, and I want to be there anyway. So then I opened up 3 studios on my own out at the shore. So now I have that.
How did you do this with like money you got from YouTube and stuff?
A little bit of both. A lot of friends and family fundraising, which is so incredible. When I went to expand down to the shore, that's when we kind of had clients that knew what I was about and what I was trying to do. And I was really lucky to get some clients invest too, which has been really great and very organic and authentic. And I love those relationships that we've built with that. So it's been interesting to fundraise for sure. It's not my favorite thing, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, wow. So that's crazy. How do you now manage them? Are you there often? Do you teach the classes or do you kind of just run it?
So my 3 at the shore, it's only open in the summertime. Okay. So from like April to October, I'm pretty much there. I'm really there like Memorial Day, Labor Day, like all the time, 24/7. And the first few years, I've had it now this will be my 6th summer going into this one. So for the first like 3, I was teaching, managing.
This
like
is your 6th summer.
6th summer.
So you were 20.
Yeah, I was 20 when it opened. Wow. Yeah, which is like crazy, right?
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I look back on that. And at the time, I was like, why don't people take me seriously? And then now I look back, I'm like, who would take me seriously? Like, actually, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, the first 3 summers I was teaching a lot. I was managing, kind of just like doing it all, doing whatever you can to make it happen. The past few summers I've been able to teach a lot less because I have fantastic instructors, so talented, and I really like being behind the scenes working on the business. So I've been doing a lot of managing, but this year I'm making sure to not manage as much. I haven't like taken a vacation in the summers and for so long because it's just what I do. So I've actually a few vacations like planned this summer, so I need to make sure all my ducks are in a row. But yeah, so it's a combination of both.
Nice. And what do you, I don't know if you choose favorites, but what do you think you enjoy more, like the social media life or like the fitness?
But they're so different.
They are.
So I like them both for different reasons. The social media side of it is really cool because that's just like, to my core, I feel like who I am, right? Like I post a lot of makeup content, a lot of lifestyle, beauty stuff like that. And that's just who I've always been. Like always been girly, always been into makeup, always been into hair, always been into nails. Like I'm just so about that. But when it comes to the fitness, like that's a whole different side of me too. And the fitness side of me is also the business side of me. And that's a big part of me too that social media doesn't get to see. Right. So it's, the setting up the studio, the actually being there, the interpersonal connections. Like I get to meet followers in person when they come to the studio, and that's always really cool. And I remember when Stride first opened, like I would have followers like flying in to come take class and that is just like a really cool thing. So they kind of connect in a way, but they're so different. I love them both.
Yeah. Do you share this like BTS of the fitness business life on your YouTube now, or no, not really?
I try. Okay. I do try, but honestly, it's boring. Like it's not as interesting as you would think.
I know, that's what everyone says, and like even for me when I work from home podcasting for the week and I'll post it, and I'm like, why are people watching this? Like I was bored, but like people like it. And then I look at my favorite YouTubers and I'm like, I kind of like when they just do like the at-home boring stuff too. Yeah. So people might like that.
They definitely do, but the thing is like when I'm doing admin work at home for the studios, people are just normally confused because when you have like a physical store location and you're running like a business, they're like, well, why aren't you there? Like, why are you home? And it's like, well, a lot of the work is admin work that you can do from home. And when I am at the studio, it's hard to remember to vlog because not everyone that's at the studio wants to be on camera. Like, they are at their gym working out, and here I am like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be annoying to them. But also, whenever I do sit down and try to show like what it is that I'm, doing on like an admin day, typically it's something like, oh, I'm just going in and changing out a sub, or I'm like, sending these reports on over to like our counter stuff. So it's like, I can tell you what I'm doing. I can't show you what I'm doing. And that might not be fun to watch.
I get what you mean by that. I feel the same way with like my like brand deals. I'm like, oh, I can't share like this contract, but I'm sure people want to know how the social media behind the scenes works. You just wear so many hats. So I want to know time management and kind of, like you said, you haven't taken a vacation in so long because of how much work you're doing and because your work is now in the summer where you spend your time. So how do you find that kind of like work hard, play hard mentality, and how do you balance, organize, and time manage? Because my girls love organization here. Are you like an organized person, or you just like go with the flow? Okay, so let's hear all the tips.
Organized. I literally live in my Google Calendar. Like, it is my actual lifeline. Every single part of my life is ingrained in my Google Calendar. Like, from when I wake up to when I'm going to work out, like everything is time blocked in my calendar, and all of my calendars are their own separate calendars, so everything's color coded.
So you have a different one for your fitness and then one for your social media?
Yes, like everything has a calendar. Like appointments is a calendar, workouts is a calendar, social events is a calendar, Stride is a calendar.
I might need you to show me this after.
I will. Okay. So then like if I'm like, looking at my month at a glance, and I'm like, okay, like podcasting is a calendar. So like, let's say I want to plan out my podcast and what time I'm going to podcast, and I just want to see my podcasting for the month. I can unclick all of my other calendars and then just click on that and just look at that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I'm really organized with that in that way. And I time block everything, like commuting time, what time I'm going to like put on my makeup. Like, I'm crazy about my calendar.
I like that.
I time block
and that's all
everything.
on your Google Calendar.
All on my Google Calendar,
Okay, I would love
which
to see what it
syncs
looks
on
like
all of
after.
my devices, which is great. So it's on, I have 2 phones, so it's on both of my phones. It's on my laptop, my desktop, like it's everywhere. And it's just the best.
Okay.
So I have that. That is actually my lifeline.
Google Calendar is great. I use it too. And even if I try to use new, like monthly, it doesn't, I just always go back to Google Calendar. And it's so nice too for like interviews, like just sending an invite and stuff.
It's so easy. And I have tried to use like the Notion calendar, which syncs with your Google Calendar. It's not the same. Like Google just did it perfectly.
Yeah, I use Notion for like my weekly. Like I love like my weekly to-do list. I sell this like Notion planner on my site, and I use like it for the week. You scroll down and you can connect the Google Calendar to monthly, but still when it goes to monthly, I just like to have it like on.
Me too. Me too. It's just the best. So that's how I time block like my life. Honestly, is in Google Cal. Then when it comes to like the summer work hard, play hard, I'm in the summer, I live in extremes, which is not the way that I like to live, but it is just how it has to be.
Right. Especially because your studio is in the summertime down the shore.
Yes.
So, okay.
So there's like 2 seasons of life. There's life when the studio is open, and then times when the studio is closed, because it's seasonal. So it's only open in the summer, closed in like the winter and stuff. Okay. So right now it's closed. When it's the summertime, my work is in the morning, and then I don't really have night classes. So I wake up around like 6, go to the studios, and from like 6 to 12, 7 days a week, it's just like go, go, go. And then 12 hits, and I try to get my ass on the beach and just sit down and like relax and be like, I don't even know what work is. Don't talk to me about it. And if we do need to talk about it, I will talk to you about it tomorrow morning.
That's awesome that you can do that.
I try. Like, it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, you get an email and you're like, okay.
Yes, but that's my intention, especially when like clients that are down, let's say like for the week at the shore, and they're trying to book a class or something, if they can't do it, like I do like to be responsive pretty quickly and get them into class or whatever it might be. So I'm kind of always on, but I try to be flexible. Anyway, so I do that in the mornings, and then like all summer long, it's like that. So it's just go, go, go all summer, especially in the mornings all summer. Then once the studios close, for me, I've been on vacation for the last like 3 months. Like October, November, December is really when I take time off from working a lot. And then in January, it kind of starts back up again of like, hiring for the new season, getting the studios back up in order. Every year I seem to like add something else on. Like last year I opened up another location in the off season. So like that really took up a lot of my winter. I'm not going to do that this year. I mean, I say that every year, but like who knows? I always want to open something else. So I really try to ease back into it in the winter so that once spring hits, like I'm ready to go. But then once Labor Day hits, I am like so exhausted, so burnt out. And like I need these 3 months of vacation to kind of just like chill a little bit.
Right.
And it's also fun because then it's the holidays and it's just, I really enjoy this time of year. So, but this is really when I do try to chill. So it's on and it's off. So it's very extreme.
Right. And would you say like, when it comes to, so like you do the Google Calendar, you do all of that. Are you a big like routine person, or are you kind of just like, okay, so talk to us a little bit about your morning routine and your night routine? Because I always say a morning routine starts with a good night routine.
1000%.
So tell us like your habits that you do in the morning and then at night too, to make sure you have like a productive day.
Okay, so in the morning I wake up and do you watch Andrew Huberman or listen to Andrew Huberman at all?
No, but
okay.
Isn't it like Huberman Studio?
Huberman Lab.
Huberman Lab, yes.
So he's really big on morning sunlight, which I'm sure you know all about. Yeah. So I have really adapted that into my life, and it's like changed my life. So I'm really big with morning sunlight. So I'll wake up. Normally I wake up anywhere between like 6 and 6:30. My body doesn't really let me sleep in. I try. Doesn't really happen. Right. So anywhere between like 6:30, I wake up. I get morning sunlight, whether it's in the form of just like sitting outside, maybe going for like a little walk. But I just like to get sunlight in the morning first thing. It's really good for your eyes. It's also really good for your circadian rhythm, so that when you go to sleep, like 12, 14 hours later, you get a good night's sleep, which I need a good night's sleep. Honestly, everyone does. Yeah. But getting morning sunlight is a huge factor to getting good night's sleep. Like I notice the biggest difference.
Like a balcony in your apartment?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I live in my house with my home. So I'm like, whenever they say that, I'm like, I really want to. And then like walking through my family and going outside to sit there, I'm like, it's just embarrassing. Like I don't want to go.
I get it. But like if you could walk around like your neighborhood or something too, like it doesn't have to be pretty. Like half the time I just walk around
How long
in
do you
pajamas.
normally like stay outside?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's sunny out, 5 minutes. If it's overcast, 20 minutes.
Okay.
And if you have a dog, walk your dog. I sometimes do something like if I'm with my parents, I have a dog, but like when I'm at my apartment, I don't have a dog, so whatever. But anyway, so I get morning sunlight, then I change and I work out. My workouts, I like doing strength training in the form of like Pilates, lifting weights, yoga, and then I'm just a big walker, so I like to. I used to run a lot. I haven't really done it in a while, so walking's my preferred way. But a lot of Pilates, yoga, walking, that's my workout. So I work out every day. Then I come home, I shower, and then I have breakfast. Normally breakfast is like protein oriented, so either a variation of like protein oats or eggs, turkey bacon, fruit, yogurt, like something like that. It just sort of depends like what I'm feeling that day. Then if I have to record any like content, that's normally when I'll do that. And then I'll sit down to work. But if I don't have to record any content, like podcast recording or like TikToks or something like that, if I don't have anything to record, then I just sit down and begin my work for the day. And that's normally around like 10:30, 11. So I kind of do have like a longer morning routine.
That's me too.
But I like it.
Yeah, I love it. I love my mornings. Like, I used to be an afternoon workout person, and now I like switch to the mornings, and I'll do my classes like bar or Pilates or something. Yeah. So I don't wake up at 6:30, but I'll try to wake up at like 7:30, 8. Yeah. And I'll do my workout at like 8:15. I'll go to the gym, and it takes me like 15 minutes to get there. And when I get home and eat my breakfast and shower and have my coffee, it's like 10:30. And I don't like to start working past like 10:30. Like I like to be at my home setup by 10:30, but I have to get better at the sunlight thing, because sometimes I'll be literally working from inside, like haven't seen the sun like all day, and then it's like 10 p.m. and I'm like, wow, I've been working all day.
Do you feel like you notice a difference in your body?
So I'm a summer girl. Okay. So like when like that's it. Like I need the sun. So like I self-tan in the winter. Like I try to get the most of it. I just went to Florida in November to try to keep my seasonal depression out. But I'm a big sun, like today the sun's out and I'm like, oh, I want to just stay in the city for no reason to do work. Like it's just, I need my vitamin D. So, like, in the summertime, my aunt has a pool, and she lives right down my street. So, every single day, I grab my laptop, and I go there, and I'm tanning, and then, like, working for, like, 30 minutes. But, like, tanning and working at the same time because I need to be in the sun. So, I think I should definitely try to, even though it's going to be cold.
You know what? It is cold, but bundle up. Like, you do notice a really big, and I wish I could tell you, like, oh, you don't really notice a difference. Yeah. Unfortunately, you do. Like, it really is so beneficial.
Yeah.
And it just has like changed everything for me. So that's my morning. And then at night, I'm honestly not, I don't have a crazy nighttime routine.
Yeah.
I like to eat dinner like 2 to 3 hours before I go to bed. Whenever I have a big dinner like before bed, I notice a big difference in my sleep. I also have an Oura ring. Do you have an Oura ring?
I have an Ultrahuman ring, but it like disconnected and I have to get a new one sent to me, so I'm waiting for that one. But when I was using it for the 2 weeks that I was using it, I loved it.
Yes.
For the sleep.
It would track your sleep.
Yes, and that's what I got it for.
Yes. Okay. So like,
I was actually looking at it on your
yes,
computer.
I love it. I use it for mainly for birth control.
Okay.
Honestly, like it takes my temperature and I love that. But it also tracks sleep, tracks your readiness, all that sort of stuff. When I eat like right before bed, oh my God, does my sleep get impacted?
Really?
It's really crazy like how all these factors affect your sleep.
Yeah.
So I try to eat 2 to 3 hours before bed. Like, I'm not someone that's like, oh, I put my phone away. I wish I could, but I'm chronically online. Like, I'm not. You know what I mean? So I can't put my phone away, but I'm really big on overhead lights. Like, there's no overhead lights.
Okay.
The sun goes down, so do my lights. I only use lamps, and they're always on a dim setting, like Philips Hue lights on the relax setting. It's orangey. It's really good for the eyes.
Okay.
I love, love, love those lights. So I'll have that, like, in my loft, and
I have those too. They turn to like red and blue too.
yes, perfect.
Yeah.
I set my hatch alarm. I have like the crickets playing because it just sounds like the shore, and I love that.
That's cute.
And then I go to bed. And so I don't have like a crazy nighttime routine, but I really do think the morning sunlight is what helps me sleep really well at night. Like my head hits a pillow, I'm out. And I really do think it's morning sunlight.
I mean, it does make sense though, because when I go down the shore or like even in the summertime, if I'm at the pool or beach all day, from being in the sun, I get exhausted.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally exhausted after. Like I can't, if we're going out at night, if we have night plans, I can't go to the beach or pool that day because I'm gonna be so tired. I have to like take a nap throughout the day. So it makes sense. I need to start doing it because that's something that's like one habit that I never got around to doing. Like I drink the water, I go to my morning workouts, I eat before my coffee. Like I do all those things, but this morning sunlight I've been slacking on.
But you know what? You drink water.
I know.
And I wish I could say the same.
That's my one thing. That's my one thing that like for years I've been really good. Ever since I got a hydro flask like 5 years ago, I've been like unstoppable with drinking water. Nope, plain water. I don't like flavored water. No, I swear. Nope, just plain. I'll sometimes have a lemon water just to be like a little healthier. Yeah. But I don't like flavored water. I hate like juices or like Gatorades or like when I have to drink a liquid IV because I'm like feeling dizzy. I'm like, oh, I hate this.
No way.
Yeah, I hate like flavored drinks. I just like my plain water.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I could be like that.
Yeah, I love it. I always like tell my friends they need to start drinking it, and I don't know, I just love it. And I love having my water bottle with me all the time. Yeah. Like before we started this interview, I was like, Tori, do you want water like 3 times? And she's like, no, I'm good. I was like, are you sure?
I have a Walla, and I literally left it in my hotel. I'm like, I won't need this.
Well, are you serious? Oh, I don't go anywhere without water. Yeah, so, okay, we talked about the routines, the busyness. I want to talk a little bit about mindfulness. Okay. I know we had our, you get your sunlight in the morning. That's definitely a form of mindfulness. Do you meditate? Do you read? Like, what's your form of just shutting your brain off, getting off your phone, and just, like, you're having a stressful, anxious day, and this is what you do to be more mindful?
Great question. So I wish I could sit here and say I meditate every day. I don't. I do try. I probably meditate about 3 times a week. I use the Open app to meditate, and I love it. So that's a big one for me. 3 times a week normally is what I can get in. I do practice yoga, so I feel like that's a really big practice for me when it comes to mindfulness and just being in tune with myself. But I'm kind of specific. I like this one instructor because she does the same sequence every time. So when I find that I know what's coming next, I can just be kind of more in the flow of it. And it's not like I'm listening so attentively to like, oh, what's the next pose going to be? I really like knowing what's coming next. So I really like doing this one style of yoga from this one teacher. So whenever I can get to her classes, I will. So those are 2 big things for me that I think people would typically think of. But other ways that I like to kind of turn my brain off and disconnect, talking with friends. Like if I just want to chat with some of my best friends, giving them a phone call or even just voice messaging them and just like dumping, like I'll be like, I'm going to send you a podcast episode and it's me just talking about my life. Right. And I'm like, I don't care if you answer or not, but like, here it is. You know what I mean? So like that is really nice for me. I'm someone that my therapist calls it, externally processes things. Okay. So I have to talk things through. In your head, in your head where I mean, maybe I shouldn't project this onto you, but for me, if something happens, I will have a conversation 1,000 times in my head.
Too, and I answer for the other person. Like before me and my boyfriend argue, I'm already thinking of his responses and my responses, and having different conversations in my head before I actually sit down and talk to him about it.
No, 1,000%. Or like someone will say something and I said something back, and then I'll be like, I should have said this. And like, so I just go through things in my head until I talk it out loud. It doesn't leave my head. So I have to talk things through. So I'll call my mom, I'll call my friends, I'll call my boyfriend, like whatever it is. And I'll just like talk. And that feels really good. As cliche as it sounds, and I know we talk about the shore every 5 seconds, but like going to the beach, super meditative for me. I just get to shut my brain off and like looking at the ocean, sitting on the sand. Yeah, like it's just so gorgeous. So I love that. And like you mentioned, Florida, like traveling is a really great way too. Even if it's just like going a different route home. Like I feel like that's an adventure in and of itself. You know what I mean? So just like doing something to switch up from your norm, I feel really helps you get out of your head. Going for walks is really nice. Going to take like a little 5-minute coffee break or something. Petting my dog, all things like that. It's really like the little things in life that just connect me back to being where my feet are. That's something I always say to myself, like I just need to be where my feet are because I live so in my head sometimes that it's a good reminder of like, okay, this is where I am. This is what's going on around me. Like the problems that I'm thinking about in my head, like for whether it's work or it's normally work, like whatever it is, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like it's going to be okay. Life will go on. And just kind of getting out of that headspace and just petting a dog, going to sit on the beach, something like that. It's always really helpful.
I feel like also because the things that you're saying, you probably do pretty often or daily. So I think that when you do little mindful things every single day, whether it's petting your dog or just stepping outside and like taking in the sunlight or whatever it is, sometimes I'll have moments where I'll notice how long I'm on my screen and I'll just put my screen away for 5 minutes and literally just lay on my bed and look out the window or look at the ceiling because it's like my eyes hurt from the screen, my head hurts, and it's just like a few minutes of mindfulness. I think if you do that throughout your day, you're not going to feel the need to like do like this long 45-minute meditation, like whatever. I'm not a meditator. I tried to do meditation for so long and it was just never for me. Maybe I'm not doing the right ones, but like I could never do that.
Why do you feel like you couldn't?
I don't know. I just sit there and I'm just like, I'm bored.
I get that. No, I get that. Meditating is boring. Yeah. Like it is.
And it's like supposed to be. It's like the 1 10-minute thing of the day I'm like bored in. Like at least just like let myself be bored and I just can't.
I get why though. Yeah. Like I do. Like in a world where we're constantly stimulated, just to sit with yourself and be bored, it's something we're not used to.
Yeah, I literally cannot be understimulated. Like my dad is like that. Like if he has off from work and I'm upstairs working, he's like coming upstairs, do you need me to build furniture? Do you need me to do this? Like he can't not do something. So like I get like that too where like if I have literally nothing planned for the day, I'll go crazy. I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do? I can't just like not do anything. So I want to talk, we talk a lot about girl talk on this show, so I always love to talk about friendships and relationships with my guests. So friendships can be a little bit tough sometimes, maybe tough to find. Has your friendship life kind of been same friends growing up, or has it been like lost friends, had to gain friends? Like, what was your whole situation?
A little bit of both. Okay. And I love this question, by the way.
Yeah, I love to talk about this.
I love this.
It's so important for girls.
It is. Yeah. So I've had like a few best friends my whole life, like childhood friends that some I have. And you know what? The thing with me, with my childhood friends, is we will have moments of being super, super close, and then we aren't. But when we aren't, we're not in a falling out.
And
we're
how
just.
Many are there of you guys?
I would say there's like 2 childhood friends, and 2 separate friends. They know each other, but like my relationships and friendships with them are so separate. And yeah, like there will be times where we're super, super close, and then times when we're not. And when we're not, it's not that we've had a falling out. It's just life is taking us in different directions. But then when we see each other again, it's like no time has passed. And that to me is like such a special friendship.
It is.
So I've had those 2 lifelong friends forever, and they're like childhood friends. And I'm seeing one right after this, like for happy hour. So like that's like so fun. So I love those friendships. They are so important to me. And then other than that, I've had friendships that I'm really close with at times for whether it's like Stride brought us together. A lot of my friendships have formed from Stride. Like just working out with people every day, being with them, working with them, employing them. Like you get really close with certain people. Yeah. So I've had really great friendships. I've had really devastating friendship breakups. And like a friendship breakup is so hard.
so hard.
It is so hard. Like, I had this one that I honestly, like, I've moved on from it, but it will never not hurt, where it just felt like I was in a relationship and I was, like, cheated on. Like,
Right.
it was, like, that level of, oh, my God, like, this person was a sister to me, and now, like, they're a stranger to me.
Right.
And that's so sad.
It is.
It's really hard. So I've definitely had friendships like that. I've had friendships that we were super, super close and then we kind of just faded away. And like I have one friend in mind right now where it's like I can't believe how close we were and how like now we barely even talk. There's no bad blood. It's just like life is just
Takes you in different directions.
Yeah, it takes you in different directions. And it's like I hope we make our way back to each other one day, but who knows if we will or won't. And I always feel like making friends is so awkward.
It's weird at this age. It's so weird at this age.
It's weird because you kind of have to like ask girls out and then like go on like little friendship dates with them. And yeah, and you just have like this, I don't know, like surface level.
In this world, I feel like in our world, like with social media and stuff, maybe it could be more like it's like right now, like we're developing a friendship just by talking. And it's like next time you're in New York or if I'm ever in Philly for some reason, like it's like now you have somebody you know. But like I have so many girls on social media that I see and I'm like, we should grab coffee sometime. And I'm like, wait, is this like weird?
I don't think it's weird at all. I don't think it's weird at all.
I'm like, I feel like in the social media world, maybe you can get away with it.
Yes. And I also was listening to a podcast where they were talking about this. And one of the hosts was like, whenever a girl will ask me, and it was a girl saying this, whenever a girl will ask me to coffee, I appreciate what she's doing, but the host was like, I'm not in the same headspace right now. And I was like, I didn't even think about it like that. Like, it's so true. Like, you could put yourself out there trying to find friends, but that doesn't mean the other person is open to making new friends at the moment. And that's a little weird. Like, it's like you never think of rejection from a friend. Like, with dating and stuff, it's like, oh, should I like damn him? Shouldn't I? Blah, blah. That's something that you think about. But with friends, it's like, I'm going to shoot my shot. And I know they're going to say yes, but it's like, oh, what if they don't? And then it's so weird. Never thought about that.
You're in a relationship. You have friendships. How do you balance relationship, friendships, and then also your alone time? Because I'm big on alone time.
Yes.
So how do you balance all three of those?
Okay, so I'll start with the alone time first. So I don't live with my boyfriend, and I think that really helps. So like when I'm with him, and then when I'm not, I'm not. Like I'm like fully in my Barbie dream house when I'm not with him. You know what I mean? Like
how long have you been together?
Not very long. Like it's a pretty new relationship. So like when I'm not with him, it's very, you know, like it's just I'm back in my own apartment, like playing my music as loud as I want, watching my podcast, whatever I want to do. Like it's all my time. You know what I mean? When I'm with him, and that's great. So I have a good balance with that. When it comes to friends, he's a very social person. So I've been able to integrate his friend group. Like I've met his friend group. They're all like really awesome. So like I socialize a lot with them.
Does he also live in Philly?
He lives in Philly. Okay. Yes. And then my friends, I'm able to like bring them and introduce them to him because it's still like pretty new. And that's been really fun too because he's, you know, outgoing, he's social, he's fun. Like he likes to go do all these fun things.
It's so nice to bring around a guy that you don't have to worry about. Like,
yes.
oh, what's he going to do?
Yes.
Is he going to be boring? Or
yeah.
Or whatever.
And he could also like talk to a brick wall.
I love that.
Yeah.
Every guy should have that quality. Like if you're dating a man that doesn't have that quality, find a new one because I think every man has that quality.
Yeah. Like I could leave him alone and he would be fine.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't need me.
Yeah.
So that's really great. So that's been helpful. But also when it comes to just like not actually like physically being with my friends and with him at the same time, like I said, I'm really big on voice memos. So like when I'm driving anywhere, I always will voice memo friends and just like, how are you? What's up? Like fill me in on things. And it will be like a 15-minute voice memo. Like it's literally like a podcast that I send to them.
Me and my friends are the same.
And I feel bad, but I don't. You know what I mean?
Like, we could just FaceTime, but we're not going to. It's literally 30 minutes of voice memos.
1,000%. And it's so fun.
I love it. Like if I'm on a walk now, I have something to listen to. I have something to talk. Oh my God, me and my friend Selena love it.
It's the best. It's literally the best. So I do a lot of voice memos. I also think just the older you get, the more understanding you are that people are busy. Like my one friend Caroline, whenever we try to hang out, she literally sends me her Google Calendar and she goes, okay, just pick a day. And I'm like, Caroline, this is insane behavior.
That is so
but like,
funny.
let's like, what are you doing this day? Like, we'll do that.
Hilarious.
So like, I get it. And if I can't see my friends all the time, that's fine because I also like my alone time too. So I really just try and keep in contact with them, voice memo. Their social media helps like seeing what they're up to. And stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I agree with when you get older, people are more understanding. Whereas when I was younger, when I was in college, it was more so like not painful, but like offensive. If like me and my friends couldn't find time for each other, it was more so like I had to kind of stay more on top of let me prioritize this because it would make me nervous that if I didn't, my friend would think there was like a problem or like, oh, she's not hanging out with me or whatever. And I think that when you get older, it's also like when you're younger, it's like I did everything with my friends in high school. Like we went grocery shopping together. We got our nails done together. And then you kind of gain this sense of independence as you get older. So it's like, I love, like you said, when you're with your boyfriend, you're with your boyfriend. But when you're not, you're not. And I'm kind of like that too. I think that's the best way to balance a relationship. Like same thing with him. When he's not with me, he's going to work and it's like, that's his thing. I'm doing my podcast. That's my thing. And like being independent in your relationship is huge. Me and him actually recorded a podcast together, like talking about that stuff because I was like, it's so important to also know like a healthy relationship is going to be okay with that. Whereas a toxic relationship, it's going to be, especially as a working woman, it can be scary for some guys to have such a hardworking, successful woman. Yeah. How do you have you ever had that problem when it came to guys?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, which I've been very lucky in that department because I know that is an issue for some, but not.
Times have changed too. Yeah, I love all that stuff about friendships, and I think that it is definitely weird making friends in your 20s. Yeah. It's like, because you're not in school. It's not like you have class with somebody or like anything like that. I will say, I've never been like rejected by like a girl on social media, but it's like mostly like, we'll get coffee. Yes, we should. And then it like doesn't go anywhere. Because like, then I look at my own life and I'm like, okay, I'm actually very content right now with the relationship I have, the friendships I have, the relationships I have with my family and with myself and with work, where like I can barely balance the people in my life right now. Like, can I add more? Like, you know, I just think that making friends in this age is also so good though, too, because you're finding people that are on your path.
1,000%.
Yeah. So you have a podcast now.
I do.
How long have you had it?
So I started that in 2019.
Oh, so you've had that for a while too. Okay,
yeah.
You wear so many hats, it's like hard to keep
Yeah, I
track of.
never mentioned the podcast. I think it's just because it's part of my like weekly routine at this point.
Right. So
that
you
I
do
don't
upload
even
every
think
week?
about it. I do every Monday.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about why you started your podcast and what you talk about on it so that people can listen to it too.
Yeah, so the podcast is called Manifest with Tori DeSimone. I started it in 2019 because I was still very big with posting on YouTube at the time, but I was kind of feeling like I want to transition off of YouTube, and organically it felt like podcasting was that medium to go to. And I'm so glad I did that. Like I love, love, love podcasting. It's so, isn't it just like so fun?
I love it.
It really is the best.
I mean, we send voice memos, so it's like, we might as well get paid to do it.
1,000%. 1,000%. Like it's really just such a great platform.
Yeah.
And it's been really cool too to see like the longevity of the platform, and it's just interesting because I was talking to my network the other day and they're like, it's kind of still a new thing. So like, we don't really know like what numbers should look like, what metric. I'm like, I guess that's a good point. I didn't even think about it. But anyway, started in 2019. And when I started it, it was really about entrepreneurship and business. And it kind of has just evolved not into that at all. And it's more about wellness, time management. Honestly, just like it's very similar to your show. Yeah. Literally, lifestyle girl talk is the perfect way to explain it. And I just love it so much. Like it's just fun to like sit down with the girls and yap. You know what I mean? It's the best.
I agree.
So I love that. And I always try to tie in a little bit of motivation, inspiration. Like I want people to leave every episode just feeling a little bit better about themselves or motivated about their life or just about their Mondays or whatever it might be. I love podcasting.
I agree. And I think that your podcast transitioning makes sense. Like mine too. Like I started mine, I think in 2020 or 2021. Yeah. And it's like when I started it too, it was also about women in business and like success. And then as much as I still love talking about that stuff, I did kind of make more of a transition into the girl talk and the lifestyle and the just like day to day and kind of shifting with what our demographic likes to hear. Yeah. Before we go, I always like to ask a quote or life advice from my guests. So something that you live by, maybe your favorite quote or just something you remind yourself on bad days that somebody listening to this episode can kind of take with them.
Okay, so your account posted it. And it's like the best. And I might like say it a little bit wrong, but
I think I might know which one you're talking about.
Okay, wait, what do you think it is?
The house one?
Yes!
Dude, everyone was DMing me about that quote, and I was like, oh, I didn't know I popped off like that.
No, you popped off with that. Like, I saw that. I was like, save!
Oh,
like,
I love
no,
forgot.
changed
That was
my
like
life.
my most popular Instagram post too, which is so funny.
Yeah, I like can't wait for this episode to come out because I've been waiting to put that on my story.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, girl.
Oh,
So
that's funny.
that seriously, for people that don't know what we're talking
You were
about.
just like freaked out because I knew it.
Yes, it's what is it? The words.
The words you speak become the house you live in.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And like, if that ain't the truth,
Yeah.
it's so true. And I think that is such a powerful quote. And I wholeheartedly believe it. And yeah,
love that
it's
quote, too.
it's perfectly
I
said.
also saw one like kind of similar, and it was like when your house is burning, you might think the whole world is on fire, but just like step outside and like there's more out there. So it's just like the words you speak, the things you do every day, the people you hang out with, the people that you see when you wake up, when you go to sleep, that you talk to on the phone, like that builds your environment, that builds your house. So if it feels toxic, if it feels outgrown, like you always have the option to. I think we forget like we have free will, and even though you might not think you have the money or the time, if you have the will, like you will walk out and you will try to do something new with your life.
Yep.
I think that's huge. Oh my god, I love that you used my quote.
I seriously loved it. Like I saw it and I was like, oh, my life changed.
Oh. Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so give us any upcoming projects you have coming up, your social media. Obviously, everything will be linked down below for people to find you, but just so that they can hear it.
Yeah, you can follow me at Tori Sterling _ on Instagram. I think TikTok is at toridesimone, which Desimon's my last name, Sterling's my middle name. Instagram won't let me change my handle.
Oh, really?
And you can also go to toridesimone.com and just find any links on there.
Perfect. I will link everything down below. You have been amazing. Like, I knew who you were before I started the show, but then I talked to you and I was like, wait, she actually does everything? So I was like, this like went in so many different directions, and I'm so grateful to have just had this girl talk with you and to meet you.
Thank you. It's been so much fun, and I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on.